Good afternoon, everyone. It's E here with 25K Trading. Hopefully, you guys had a good day today. We have one more day left until, well, this is the last day before the trading week ends. So, hope you guys had a great Easter week, the Holy Week, I guess. And on Easter, hope you guys stay the fuck home. So we don't have to continue spreading this virus. But let's jump right back into the markets here. So I'm just streaming here. Got another 50 plus minutes to the close. Want to see how it closes. So we essentially gapped up because so QQQ relatively it went upwards, went downwards. I want to go to SPY. So this is SPY, right? So SPY had this little bull trap, and now it's like I don't know if this is a bear trap now. Who knows? But essentially, SPY fills the gap, right? As close as it can. Maybe we even fill it and go negative towards the end of the day. Excuse me. But the reason why I think we went positive is because of XLE, or well, energy companies, and also finance too, financial services as well. So I'll give you guys a little rundown. I'm gonna post a link here on my Twitter so I can filter the people in. But all right. So let's get back to the graph. So essentially, just a quick recap of everything I learned today. We had Jay Powell open up the market pretty much with a little speech. He went over, the extra, billions of dollars they're providing to small to medium companies and how it's going to be lent out to the bank. So essentially, you go to your bank, you ask for the loan, 95% will be returned to the Federal Reserve. The banks keep 5%, and this is guaranteed by the Fed. But there's a few stipulations each company must go through, and one of the stipulations is that you must keep the payroll reasonable. So if you do decide to go for the bailout money, you have to keep your employees on payroll. And I honestly think, again, this is all back down to unemployment. As a trader, I know unemployment is one of the most important reports that essentially we're looking at. The monthly report, we get non-farm payrolls. That moves the market a lot, especially in a bullish market. That would definitely pump it to the upside on a bullish report. I have no doubt on that. And my concern again is if tech today probably didn't move on SB on the small business and medium business thing. It's because I imagine tech businesses to be more B2B, right? Advertising and such like that, right? You're projecting stuff to its users. Right, so maybe that's why tech didn't go up today. I saw Bitcoin's also hovering -2 as well. So that tech was definitely the dragger of the day, right? The S&P 500 wanted to go up, but essentially held down by energy today. And luckily, energy was a bearish move, not a bullish move today, like we usually see. We dropped down below 23 at the market close 30 minutes ago for NYMEX oil close. We saw it drop down to under 23 when that market closed. So it really shows the bearishness in oil, right? The Saudis say they'll cut production, and they'll cut 10 million barrels of production per day across the OPEC plus states. But the only thing is, if you remember, in early March, what did the Saudis do? What did the KSA do? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia increased output and dropped the wholesale price. So essentially, they're just rolling back what they did earlier this month in March. But I think it came too late. It just simply came too late. We go here on USO, we shall see that crude is just severely battered. Right? We have this little short covering into the end of the day, and they have this G20 energy meeting, right? So yeah, like crude is done. It's not going to be, we probably never will even see unless there's probably like war or something, like $50 a barrel for oil. It just simply, I don't think it'll ever happen because I think technology has progressed to a part where America is producing a significant amount of oil. I think we might be producing the most right now in the world, so we can self-sustain. So the dependence on foreign oil is something of the past. I refer to, if you are in the Discord, I refer it to as the new coal miner, right? The oil producers are the new coal miners, right? And why is because it's something in the past. Um, it's something that happened in the past. Um, that it's something revalued, but essentially like there's other alternative energies to go with, and oil. As we trend towards not relying on Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, the only thing it can do right now is take the price even further. Because if I was Saudi Arabia, I would want to hurt America by destroying these Texas companies that are producing at $30 to $40 per barrel, like the Permian Basin, right? And then essentially squeeze them out. Squeeze out Russia too. Russia produces around $40 too. So at $40, I think Russia produces what they said they profit around 40, and they can do everything they need at 40. So if I was Saudi Arabia, I don't know why they would cut only 10 million. It seems like kind of like a farce to me, because I don't even know if like the countries are all going to go with it too as well. That's the thing. I don't know if the countries are all going to go with it. Like if it's actually because it's OPEC plus, right? We have nations like Qatar drop out of OPEC, and also their cut starts in May. So what do you think they're doing all of April? Probably increasing production. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's like what I did earlier this month, I'll just do it next month and call it a day. That's probably why it was sold on the news. Right? Buy the news, sell. Oh, sorry, buy the rumor, sell the news. I think this is exactly it. We see the Trump pump and then the Saudi dump. It's simply as that. Oil went up and went down, but I think the market was able to squeeze out that big pop, the all-day rally, because it wouldn't have happened with oil. So that, in fact, to me, maybe the whole reason the market popped to the upside was because of Trump's tweet. You can actually look at it like that, because when Trump tweeted that was when the market popped and it forced a higher low, right? And then we exploded to the upside after that, driven by that oil pop the day before. So oil's dropping down here. Let's go to the SPY again. I tried to short SPY today and I got stopped out. It was not a fun experience. Maybe I set my stop loss too shallow, but honestly, I don't even care at this point, because I'm just happy to see that this is not continuously going up. I was honestly thinking that this price essentially on the 5-minute would just go into the end of the day, but we do have a bounce here on the gap close. So something here to look forward to the last 30 minutes or the last 50 minutes or so coming up. It should be a very interesting close here to see whether or not we go back towards the highs, because right now, financials are hot. So if you look at the financials, XLF is one that I use, right? I have this already charted for us. It was one of my targets to buy, but when they, with the interest rates, I actually got really scared because banks don't perform well in low interest rates settings. And I almost think that, like, because the Fed is letting the banks do this, there's a high chance, what if everyone can't pay back their loans? I have a suspicion that, like, a lot of people just won't be able to survive even if they open, because business will be so slow in the beginning, right? People are just going to start filtering out their houses, coming out one by one. Yeah, so I see this divergence here too as well on XLF, right? We have a higher high, but MACD has completely stalled, right? MACD can't go higher. If MACD can't go higher and the price is going higher, that means there's exhaustion in the near term. I also see this kind of exhaustion when I was on QQQ. Completely unrated, but on the 1 hour, yeah, I see it right here. I mentioned this morning, see around this 4 on the MACD. It's just essentially, you can chart MACD too as well. We have this somewhat flat, very, very flat kind of MACD, right? If this price was going up, it would look totally different. But here, we have inclining price. The price is going up, but the MACD is flat. Moving averages are slowing down, right? So there's a little convergence in the price. I'm sorry, divergence in the price.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I didn't see you. I didn't see you in the chat this morning. I was a little quiet too myself. Oh, thanks, Cucumber. Thank you for that donation.
I guess everyone when losing money or going trend when the trades are going against them are going to be so quiet, man.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just we gotta take this day by day. This is just 1 week, right? It's only been 1 week of bull. That's the crazy part. This bull has only been here for 1 week since the beginning of the week. It hasn't been here the day before, or I mean the week before. It was just channeling, and I expect this thing to be like a 1 week kind of abnormal price pop because if you look at the momentum indicators, and I was watching a technical analyst do this on Bloomberg yesterday, essentially on the weekly
Yeah.
and on the daily. I'm sorry, the weekly and the monthly, it's still heavily momentum to the downside, right? And a lot of people say this is a you know a bull market retracement. I'm sorry, a bear market bullish pop retracements, right? And I completely agree with that. I just did not have the idea that it would come all the way to the moving averages. I thought this would crumble before we get there, but apparently it was a short squeeze does crazy things. So I think combination of a short squeeze along with a technical breakout led us to have that 10%, 13%, like 13% week. So again, they would do a lot of rotation, right? You see one industry or one sector popped up, and the next day they will rotate, pop up in the next sector, rotate, pop it up, rotate, pop it up, rotate, pop it up, right? That's what they've been doing. XLF is the reason why S&P 500 was green today. And XLE is the reason why it was even more green. But after OPEC Plus, the meeting that occurred earlier today, we saw the prices of oil drop into the close, into the NYMEX close. We saw SPY, Dow Jones both come down. We saw QQQ that was barely up, not even 1% at times, drop down to the negative territory it is currently in now. Now gold. So let's go to gold. Right, gold
Gold is on fire.
Gold is popping up. I have high expectations for gold. I think gold could easily go to $1,900 per ounce. Look at this. This is from 2015. This chart. Let me delete this. So we're climbing into this heavy range area. So we'll see the range here probably going forward in gold is around 1540 to 1780. I think the top right here for gold in the near term future. Got a call, sorry guys. In the near term future, it's going to be 1800 to 1550. Exactly the old range it was before in 2012. Jay Powell was asked this question this morning. He was asked, do you care about inflation because of of your current monetary policy? Do you care about inflation? He said inflation is not really a concern of theirs right now. Obviously, the economy is a lot more important. So gold, the fight to safety of gold. Gold is popping hard today, right? And look, it's broken a bullish pop to the upside, and we see miners going here. I saw divergence a long time ago in gold. I'll show you that exact same divergence on the hourly here, if I can manage to find it. I think it was on the daily, and maybe I was looking at. Yeah. See, notice how MACD was going down, right? MACD is going complete down. I'll pop this up. So I dumped half of my gold stocks when I saw this. Right? We have this price. Bigger for you guys. Guess the lines. Right. So we have this MACD that's going downwards. Right. That means that moving average slowing down. But the price speeding up, higher highs. So what does that happen? So what must happen when that happens? The price drops. I'm sorry, I saw it like this. What? What am I looking at?
So you're
The
still
lower
bullish?
peaks. The lower peaks. I'm sorry. It should be on the top here. Right? We have a lower high peak, right? But we have a higher high price. So that divergence had to play out. Right? Now both price and MACD are in sync. Right? Notice how the MACD is slanted to the downside, higher lows. Lower highs, and how the price of gold is higher highs until it just completely shattered. I see until it completely fell down, reset the price and reset the moving averages, and now we're on our way back up. So again, my analogy with this is that if the price knocks a few times, it might not go through. So gold, in my opinion, it has to break up here. If it doesn't go up from here, it's going to be caught back in this divergence. Like if it comes back up here and just stalls, this divergence will come back and destroy it. So that's gold. But let me go back to the indexes for real quick. All right, so we were seeing this little bear flag form on QQQ. We're not. It doesn't look like we even tried to go back up to positive on the previous pop, but we'll maybe see because we have a 3-day weekend with Friday off, Saturday, Sunday, of course, because of Easter. I wonder what traders are going to do. Obviously, there's been a heavy liquidation of the long. You see at the market open, there was heavy volume today on QQQ, and I'm assuming there's heavy volume on SPY and DIA as well. There's a lot of selling when the market first opened, and that's what initial pressured us down. We got the little Fed speech that pushed up financials a little bit, and we got oil, the speculation of oil, the good deals would come out of oil, which pushed the market up a little bit. And bam, right? OPEC Plus comes, slams it down, drags everything down. QQQ is now negative. On the daily, right? Very confusing kind of chart, in my opinion. I'm very confused by this chart, right? If there, we might have to consolidate. If honestly, like, we're gonna have to consolidate a little bit before we drop. Like, it might just move sideways from here before we actually go down. But I am 100% thinking this gap at one point will be filled. There's a hole right there in the middle of my chart, right? And the hole ends around 188 to 184. Right. So I think I was listening to Bloomberg today, and Goldman Sachs today said they think it's going to drop, but might not make a new low. So in that case, I think we might want to, if we're shorting from here, that's going to be the short target, right? What's going to be a long target? Long target here is obviously the next part of resistance, 206. But here we have the moving averages, the 200, pushing it down. Right. And now we see on the daily chart, you see my moving averages are still under. The green ones have crossed underneath the red ones. That means the most current moving averages, the most shortest amount of period moving averages, is now below the longest collection of moving averages, right? So now we're moving, the price is lower than what it was previously in the past. Obviously, it's saying like the continuation of price. Again, lagging indicators is which is why I don't really like them. Like oscillators tend to not do well in volatility. I really don't like lagging indicators. That's why divergence, convergence, MACD is probably my favorite one to use, because it tells you what's happening right now. It doesn't tell me what's going to happen later.
So for US, you are still bear?
Oh, I'm 100% bear. Like I've been telling you guys, I've been 100% bear since the start of this all happened. 6K Nasdaq, and I still think 6K Nasdaq. Question is, how long will it take to get there? This bounce obviously has shaken my confidence a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This week, these last 4 days have seriously made me doubt my theory. But I'm gonna stick with my theory because that's what the chart shows me. I know that I probably should have gone long when that breakout did occur, but I'm sticking to the bear theory. A lower low we printed before a higher high, 100%. And I think, a lot of other expert traders out there on Twitter have been posting their charts saying, 2-7, like this is the area that they wanted to come up to. I personally think I jumped the gun and said, no, it won't even go up there. Like, that's a part where we do bullishly go, but it's not right now. It could be later, right? But you know what? If they wanted to because I'm thinking in my mind, and again, maybe because I lost my sharpness and I was too confident in the short, that I decided, it won't even go there. Like, I see it in the chart. Look, I see this in the chart. Watch this. I see this. I'm not a dummy. I completely see this. But why didn't I trade on it? Something I have to ask myself, right? Right? So that's like one of the charts some people have that essentially says we can possibly hit 205 on QQQ. I said that, and when we're around here at 208, 187 here, I'm like, pop up there is ridiculous. That's like a 13% jump. Remember? I don't even know if you guys remember me saying this. I have a 10%. I have a comfortable cushion of 10%. If they want to come hunt me, they can come hunt me. And you know what? I apparently didn't knock on wood when I said that because it did fuck me. It completely went up and fucked me. Right? So I'm actually very disappointed. A little too confident, a little too cocky maybe there, right? A little too cocky right there. But I'm not cocky enough. I'm cocky enough to also say I'm sticking with my original theory. We go down before we go any higher. And I'm going to keep saying that because I know this high here, right, at QQQ 237, no fucking way we're to get there like in the next month. If we do, you know what? I'm just going to burn the fucking, I'm just going to stop trading forever. Like, there's no point, right? If bond traders, you saw that tweet today, I forgot who was by, trading is supposed to be calculated entries, calculated exits. Not every single long position ends up profiting, if you hold it for 20 years. Not every single short position, short positions right now, according to the market, should never exist, at least on indexes, because no matter how you do shorting or selling, the price will just bounce up and go higher than high, within a year. Right? To me is ridiculous. It takes away the free market kind of atmosphere. And that's why I like trading, these kind of, the indexes, because they're not going to move like individual equity. They don't move, 100% up, like Boeing, for example, pops at 180 or 160, whatever it was. Equities are not, indexes don't move like that. They move slower. But, 2017, I said, just go long. Don't worry about it. Whatever they do, it will always support the long. And you know what? I trade against my thought process, right? My thought process when this was first crashing and I saw the Chinese markets was, the Fed can do whatever it wants. I know what the Fed does is very bullish for the market, especially when they intervene. But how can you fight a virus with money? How can you fight a virus with money? And that's the part I really don't understand. How can you find a virus? Like, I listen to the Bloomberg, I like the chats, right? And they're saying, hey, people are filing for unemployment. And these people filing for unemployment can't get their checks, right? You see, was it like a third of mortgages can be paid or something like that? Something crazy like that or something. That may be a very wrong number, but it was still a very crazy number when I read about it. It seems like there's a huge bureaucracy of getting money to people is hindering things a lot. The bureaucracy. Like, for example, the 1099s. Contract workers, 1099s. I'm sure a lot of people have used a 1099 before that do some kind of consulting work or independent kind of work. There are no systems out there for unemployment that accept 1099s, because once you do unemployment, you have to get vetted. Obviously, like you can't just say I'm unemployed, give me some money, right? They have to vet you, right? They have to vet you. And 1099, you're self-employed. I don't even know how they're gonna go about developing a system where they can properly vet the people who are applying for unemployment for 1099s. And I really doubt. And I just watched actually the governor of Ohio. He was asked a question. What's the expectancy for 1099s? And he said, the lieutenant governor said, the middle of next month, sometime in the next month. I can't give you a confident, but the middle of next month. So this is now 2 months. People are going about with no unemployment and no checks. And this is where the huge, I think, rift is between the rich and the poor, right? The rift is essentially we throw money on this and everything gets solved, right? Oh, you're a big, airline company. How much cash do you burn? You burn 1 billion per month. So if we're to burn you 4 months, right, we're gonna last this. We're gonna give you $4 billion, and you just pay off any kind of liability that you have right now to essentially keep you guys afloat, right? Easy for a corporation to do that. Now, your mom and pop store, right? Just say 25K trading, the corner deli, right? 25K trading's corner deli, right? I can't work. I'm sending out. I'm doing delivery orders. I'm making a good amount of money, but I'm probably not making the amount of revenue as I was before, especially if I'm in the city, right? Downtown city restaurants are probably dying off real fast because their customers are during the weekdays where the 9 to 5ers come in and order and eat in, right? They're not gonna get any deliveries at nights. Especially if there's no business there either, right? I'm thinking of like downtown Los Angeles right now. Like not a lot of people live in downtown Los Angeles can afford food delivery and all these kind of things. Other than the business people or the travelers, none or which are present in those areas. How would that mom and pop store essentially take $100,000 and pay payroll with it? Okay, what happens when it's lifted, right? You're gonna still see slow sales, right? When you restart from something, you're gonna start slow, right? I'm gonna make the 5-minute chart of QQQ right here. So here, I'll say it again. When you restart something that you were doing in the past, you start it slow, right? It's not like you rebound back. For example, me, right? This used to be a big chat room. I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. And there's only 20 people in here, which I don't really care. But I'm saying like you can't just snap your fingers and people come back. Like it's gonna have to put hard work into it, right? McDonald's sees a third of its revenue disappear from international markets. It's not going to be a snap back. We're back at this level, right? Even growth is not even like that. Growth is like, oh, we'll grow 3%, we'll grow 2%, right? It's the same kind of logic. It's not exactly the snapback. And I think the people that are thinking it will snap back are the ones that have been convinced, brainwashed by the news to essentially buy. If you look at this, there was a study done on investors. I read it. It was dated, I think, April 3rd or April 4th. Coach Trylam, that is correct, but that is only for Social Security checks. Zero Dragon, you definitely came back day one. But I'm just giving, okay, none of this that doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, you can't just hop back and think like, hey, like things are back to normal, right? Like I hop back and see a lot of my friends deactivate their accounts. So, you can't expect that. But all I'm saying is that, okay, here we have a little pop here, guys. We have a little pop. So 12:30 here. Let me go back to I was like rambling right here. So let's go back to the charts real quick. So QQQ is the one I'm watching now and the one I've been watching the last few days. This may be short covering here. We're back to slightly above positive for the day. And honestly, right now, it's just kind of like fucking with everyone, I think. Right? Really not doing anything, not going up, not going down. We did go significantly up in SPY, but QQQ here is pretty much hits a high, hits a low, kind of pivots, kind of just jumps around a little bit. And I don't know at this point who's afraid to hold short or hold long. I feel like this weekend could be highly unpredictable because you realize this week is the week that the reason why we went up again on Monday is because they said, hey, cases are decreasing. deaths are decreasing. And then the fucking next day they go, oops, we forgot to count those numbers. Highest death ever recorded, like on Tuesday or on Wednesday, right? Again, coronavirus, old news. Fed is the new news. Fed is the new news. We're back. The Fed buying everything. And my concern is, if the Fed's gonna buy everything, why don't we just sell them everything we have and just make this an ATM, right? Like, why don't we just keep selling it to them if they're gonna buy? Yeah, so like those $1,200 stimulus checks, those were I think just going to people that fired IRS, have direct deposit. I unfortunately do not qualify, so I don't know if it's ever gonna hit my account. Maybe they'll fudge the numbers, fuck it up somehow, and give me 1,200. Hopefully they fuck it up and just give everyone 1,200. But I'm probably not gonna get it. I'm actually definitely not gonna get it. I think the recession is 100% guaranteed. The question is, when does it start? And when do we break out of this? Right? I think Trump did a very good job. Trump has always done a very good job of doing business, right? In the trade war, US, you got to realize, guys, in the trade war, we won the trade war. Look at the Chinese market, right? Look at how much, even though we both lost a little bit, we lost a little less than they did. Right? So he's a great businessman. I honestly just don't trust the bureaucracy and the execution of how we're handling the recession part. The coronavirus, yes, we did a shit job of containment. Yes, we did a shit job of telling people, hey, masks are not useful. 3 weeks later, you should wear a mask, right? Shit job, right? See, Anthony Fauci is supposedly this great, the guy who knows a lot about science and viruses. I look at him on TV. I look at his contradicting statements. I don't think he's a great guy either. I think he's kind of like bending to the will of Trump. I'm sure if Trump wasn't behind his back, he would speak a lot differently. But how the CDC overall has handled this, complete fucking garbage, right? So when I look at the Fed and how the politicians in the Fed are going to handle the recession part, the part where we're giving people money, right? That's literally our fucking best idea. Hey, give everyone money. And la 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 la. I can't hear, right? I can't hear that high unemployment. Everyone has money. They're all satisfied. Stay at home, right? If that's how they butchered the containment part of this virus, right? By not getting enough PPE, by essentially discrediting it in early February. San Francisco, again, look at San Francisco. San Francisco did a great job in kind of mitigating the issue. They did it early. It took New York 1 week later to do the same thing. And look what happened to New York City. And San Francisco has the second highest density in the US for a city. And New York is obviously number one. So you can see the difference on how the quick reaction actually worked pretty well. So we didn't handle the mitigation that well. Running out of hand sanitizer, running out of masks. So I don't really expect the recession to be handled well. You guys get my drift? Right? Like, if they can't do that right, how do we expect them to do this right monetary policy, right? But you can also say they've been doing it right for the last 11 years. You have a shitty governor. I think the mayor is worse. Blasio. So, I mean, that's how I kind of look at. I know I'm not idiotic. I know the Fed is helping. I know the politicians are helping. My bet is on a technical, but on a fundamental basis that America can't handle the unemployment. No matter what they say, they can bluff. Right? Trump is a great bluffer, right? Great bluffer until the weaknesses are exposed. That's all. Great for business, bad for mankind. I don't think any politician right now knows what the average worker is. That's why the bill today for $250 billion more and stimulus for small businesses was completely rejected by the Senate. It's because they want things that are like for transit workers, where the Democrats want it for transit, and I completely understand. Like include public service people, like government workers. They need to get benefits and stuff too. The essential workers need to be treated more. I completely agree with all of that, but you can't simply just throw money at businesses and say, "Hey, get work again, work. Here's the money, work." No, it just doesn't happen. Like I have never done business ever where it just where like, oh yeah, done. It comes back, right? Right? Like if you have a restaurant that's putting down in customers, right? What do? You add advertising, you do all this stuff. If, for example, advertising, restaurants are sucked into this advertising kind of pit hole where once you start advertising, you got to keep on advertising. If you don't keep on advertising, you will fall down compared to another restaurant that would do an incredible amount of advertising. It's all about pumping the money in, getting your targeted users, right? They don't have money to do that. How does any restaurant have money to do ad campaigns? They can barely pay payroll wages for their workers, right? How exactly are restaurants going to have these massive ad campaigns for people to come back, right? Think of McDonald's, like their breakfast menu, like easy examples, like Taco Bell, for example, Popeyes, like that's natural trending, right? You got Twitter to do that for you. That's easy. But a lot of the stuff, you got to pay money to get it out there. How will restaurants, how would retail pay this? They have no revenues. Zero revenues. It's just bailout money, right? And Facebook is going to get mom and pop advertising money. That's how they make money. They're fucking not getting any. Like, they're definitely not getting any. Like, if I was the mom and pop pizza store getting the bailout money, payroll first, rent second, right? Or rent's first, payroll second, legal shit third, liabilities third, and whatever left over, you're paying for advertising to get people back into the store where everyone was afraid to go to because there's fucking coronavirus everywhere, right? Like, doesn't make sense. Like, my mind cannot compute. My mind cannot compute. Anyways, done ranting. Got my 40-minute rant. Now we're just gonna watch the close here, guys. I'm fucking going crazy. That's what's going on, guys. It's literally me going crazy.
Yeah, I can say that.
I'm like not wearing any pants. If you know me, I never wear pants when I'm trading. I'm really soaked in sweat just from watching the price and doing nothing. Petting my pet dog. Anxiety. When's this gonna drop? Maybe it will never drop. And again, my anxiety comes from, did I really miss the bottom? I fucking really missed the bottom here. Because that's a shame. That's a shame. If the bottom was like that 1 week, it's a shame. Oh yeah. And back to that. Okay, I was talking about this report I was talking about earlier. I'll show you guys the link here in chat, and you guys can take a look at it. It's a few days old, but I think it's still somewhat very valid. Hold on one second. Almost there. Okay, I'm showing you guys butt naked trading. That's correct, Raj. All right, that's the link I looked at. It was a survey done on just like average investors. Well, they like surveyed 1,100 people, and like 60% of them or something like that traded, are invested, and all of that invested people, they broke it down, right? Yeah, we'll probably see the volume ramp up here in the last 15 minutes. But again, it's a holiday day, so maybe the market's kind of like, I don't know what to do today. So we'll see. We'll see here. All right, QQQ's, again, flirting around even. Not really. I mean, if it can go up here, how much time do we have left? Certainly can. But I'm thinking that, like, there's not going to be any dramatic movements like we saw yesterday. It's already done for the day, I think.
Don't you think that news of the $2.3 trillion stimulus is going to lift up a bit.
Lifted up the $2 trillion. I mean, if
Yeah,
it wanted
yeah,
to be lifted up, it would have already lifted up. It was already common news, common kind of news, in my opinion. Like it was already known. I don't think that was the reason why it popped it up.
yeah.
One second. Can you guys hear Leo?
So, can they hear me?
We're just here watching. I honestly think this is pinned because this is the last day of the trading week. I don't think this is gonna make any. Usually I go like, oh my god, let's wait for this outrageous last 30 minutes. If they make anything outrageous today, I'll be just surprised. I mean, I don't think it's gonna make anything here. I think the way they want to close it is way that like puts and calls all expire worthless and no one loses money off their premium. Like the volume has considerably died down. The first 1 hour or so, the first 3 hours of trading today, were pretty intense in volume, pretty big volume days. So theoretically, you can say if you're looking at volume profile, you can see a very big volume at 203, 202 here on QQQ. If you're using profile here, but you can see volume by time here. There's big volume spikes as soon as the market opened, and that's easily seen by the naked eye.
Can you show the profile though?
I don't have profile on this chart. I'm saying if you have volume profile on your workstation,
Oh,
you can if you're using any kind of big workstation, they'll give you a volume profile. I just gotta pay for a trading view, and I don't believe that I should give trading view any money. I think I pay them too much money. And I honestly don't think the
really?
benefits are there for but I'll probably honestly I'll probably get the pro. It's mainly because I'm banned from trading view. I'm kind of salty about that. I am banned from trading view. I can't post any comments or anything. I'm just a ghost.
Really? You're banned from trading you?
Yeah. It's what
What
happens when you
kind of
talk shit to the
troublemaker you
moderators.
are, man?
It's what happens when you talk shit to the moderators. I
Really? What kind of troublemaker you are, man?
am a troublemaker. I am a troll. And sometimes I'm a troll. No, Raj, it's tagged to your username. So if you guys look up 25k trading on TradingView, I'm sure a lot of you guys do use it. You'll see my ban status on there.
Fucking yeah, I gotta check that out, man. Oh,
You see
before
it?
that, listen to it. Yeah, yeah. The put call ratio.
What is
It
that
is
right now?
like 0.993, near to one,
Yeah, so
which
put
means
call
that
ratio
there
is
is
pretty
no.
even for the day.
Yeah, but you know, more than like around one, considered is like a bear market in theory.
Uh huh.
In theory, in theory. Like more than 0.708 is like called a bearish market. In
Yeah,
theory, though.
I would say anywhere from 1 to 1.2 would be even, and then anything above 1.2 be heavily favored to the puts, and anything below 1 be heavily favored to the calls.
Yeah,
Because there's generally
because
always a little bit more puts than calls. For some, I don't know why, but that's just the way I've been looking at it. It's just always usually numbers just always a little bit above 1. Um,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like barely goes to 0.7, man. It's like just it was just interesting, but the people say in the videos and in the articles that 0.8 and 0.7 is the normal, is the average,
so
but it's really hard to see that.
So we'll see here. We got 10 minutes left, guys. I don't think it's going to be a crazy close once again. So, I don't want to get hyped up. But we'll see. Surprise me. right? Because the reason why I'm saying this is QQQ at least is trading right here at the open, at the close of yesterday, right? It's really not. It's like the price is pinned. It's like they just want options expire and we'll deal with this next week.
Can you a little bit zoom in your chart? The one you're streaming, obviously.
Right, so we got this little bear flag, kind of weird looking bear flag. I don't even know if it's a real bear flag or not. So let's see. Okay, so upside target would be 202 and downside target would be 199. About 1.5 pop or 1.5 down from here. That's if it does want to pop, but my estimation is that we close right here. Really not exciting at all. It's just because, again, it's Friday.
Yeah, perhaps it's not a good idea to hold the positions for over weekends in this kind of situations, no?
So we'll just see who's chicken, right? Who's chicken?
Or bulls are chicken. Look at it.
Right? Longs have been selling off all day, and you can tell that by the volume. The longs, like this, the market, the QQQ should be up like 3% right now. Right? If the sellers didn't step up this morning, but the sellers did step up this morning. A lot of sellers did sell right on the opening bell. Okay, so now it's on the bottom of this bear flag. So let's see if it wants to break. All right, that's my bear flag. Oh, it is dropping actually. So the volume is filtering in. We do have a break to the downside with my shitty drawn lines. I'm sure we might just bounce from this low and come back up. I wouldn't be surprised once again. We have another 11 minutes here until it close. We should have a lot of volume come here in the next. Once this 5 minute closes in 10 seconds, this next volume should be pretty big. Right here comes the fight of the Titans. Wow, wow. Okay. Woo. Oh Lord. So I'm guessing they're dumping long. That's what it looks like to me. They're dumping long. They're not closing short. They're dumping long.
What the fuck is this, man?
Just the initial drop down looks like that's it's usually whatever the initial pop is. That's the trend of the direction. So the initial drop. So this time initially dropped. So it might just continue dropping because they're gonna sell like in blocks. Like you guys know how block selling is. Right, block, like 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. Not, they won't do like 100 million, 100 million, 100, or like one, whatever they're trying to sell. So 199 is the target here if it wants to continue down. Or it might close what I said at 200.5, exactly where it opened at. So right now, the upside of 202 doesn't look like it's plausible. There's someone selling right into this buy. Happening right now. Crazy, right? A lot of volume. You see that little green bar on the bottom there, filtering up.
The S&P 500 futures shows no sign of down.
So,
It's like old.
DMD animal. So essentially, JP Morgan today said they don't need bailout money. So we'll see on Tuesday. I think their report is generally in the morning. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's next Tuesday, and I'm interested to see because JP Morgan Chase, one of the best banks out there. They have cash. They can sustain. They don't need bailout money. I want to see how many people they lay off though. That's the thing, right? We're back to this whole layoff thing again. They're gonna be again. They have a pause on all hiring. No, there are no new hires for JP Morgan Chase right now. Like 200.35 right now for QQQ. Again, I'm thinking 200.5 exactly where we close. Or where exactly where we closed at yesterday. Once this 5 minute candle closes, probably not just as much, if not more, volume on the next bar. So you guys got anything fun planned for Easter weekend? Trick question: stay at home. Don't go outside. Oh, here comes. This is some crazy action going on. A lot of volume, guys. Here, a lot of volume. We're just watching this, guys. 202. I hope it doesn't go higher from here. Then I'll be wrong in my closing prediction. Buy and close is amazing for the last few days. It's just like almost out of control. And if you read that report I sent out in that link, it said that most people actually, while the market tumbled, were still very bullish. 40% of them got their information from the news stations, and actually only 15% sold their stocks. More people actually accumulated stocks or held. Come back down now. Come back down.
Uh, this week is really bullish, man.
I mean, you can look at this. We have stimulus money. We have more stimulus money. We have more Fed stimulus money. And this is where we are. Like if it's all baked in, it should be all baked in. It should not be trending up 13% after all the news is declared. That to me is just a retracement, right? All the news came out last week. None of the news today is new news. Literally nothing happened this week that was new news. And also, we can just forget about coronavirus. Let's from now on, let's move past the coronavirus too as well. It's in the past. We gotta make sure if the money that we have now thrown into people, will that strategy work? Will that bring people back to jobs? Will that reopen the economy? Will it run the economy? Will we discover a vaccine that will let us be free? Again, these are a lot of questions that need to be answered. 2 minutes. I want to look at the sell and close too, or the buy and close. What it looks like is a buy and close today. Heavy, heavy volume. The closing volume is not that heavy as yesterday, as expected, because of the heavy volume this morning. I think a lot of moves were done in the morning hour, as well today. Someone dumped really big. If you notice here, this volume right here, this on this bar at 10:15. That's a big volume dump. So that's why I think the price will close here. A lot of volume. Not really eventful. We went from 199.50. We popped 1 point. 200.73. 30 seconds here for the close. See what happens. Play up. Play down. Come on, close 200.5. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Oh, I was off. But as expected, pretty much a boring close, to be honest. Like again, Thursday, no trading tomorrow. I don't expect big market changes here with the market makers at the end of the day. But this is actually a good sign for the Bears because this is one of the first days. So we had 4 days this week. We had two reversals. I know the other indexes didn't finish red, so theoretically, 3 green days, 1 day with zero change, essentially, slight negative. Going forward, maybe the trend will come back to the bear. I don't know. We gotta see this moving forward because we're at pretty much critical resistance points, and although we could have long this all the way up, that opportunity I think has closed after it's been closed on since Tuesday. 1 week does not mean the trend for the next month, so take read up on your materials, make the judgment for yourself. I may say that this price is going down, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to short. You can just wait too as well. Waiting is a position too as well, just being patient. I think in the end, patience will be the most valuable tool here for everyone is patience. Because right now, we have 30% down, 20% up. Where are we going next? Patience will tell us, right? If the trend continues to go up and we go all the way up, right? We essentially lose out on a pretty cool trade, right? The long trade from the lows. If it does go down, right? If you're sitting on your hands, now you have the opportunity to go long, right? And make some money on the long side. That being said, unemployment, those numbers don't matter anymore. But if we keep on seeing millions upon millions week over week, it's gonna start to add up. If we see CPI and PPI negatives continuously, that's gonna be bad, right? We can't see these numbers continuously. You can only use the same excuse a few times before it doesn't work anymore. So we're gonna see not a Trump V, Hopefully, a Trump W. Right? I don't know, but the Democrats probably won't want the market go up. Like if I was a Democrat, I'll probably see I want the market to go down, to make because the market essentially is a show of Donald Trump's power. All right, I'm just thinking a little contrastingly, right? So Trump V is what the Trumpers want to get. A Trump W is what pretty much everyone else, economists wants to get, right? So W for the win. You got it right. But anyways, I hope you guys all have a great Easter. This weekend, trading is not everything. Just be with your family, have a good time. I unfortunately, I'm living with my girlfriend, so it's just another fucking 3 days of going crazy. But for all you guys that are with your family, cherish these next 3 days, and then we're gonna be fucking right back into fucking the hellhole that it is trading on Monday, and we're gonna either beat it or it's gonna beat us, right? There's only two things that happen. So next week's a new week, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey man, did you close the YouTube?
No, it's still going. No, but I'll see you guys later.